Samuppada, Dependent Origination, talk number 20. Starting from this talk and the following talks after this might sound quite easy or even unimportant from your point of view as you have gone through the whole dependent origination discourse in fairly detailed manner. Know that Buddha taught dependent origination from the so-called beginning ignorance to the end, Jara Marana, old age and death, in the way that we have learnt together. And also Buddha taught in some cases under a different set of audience from the end, starting from the end, Jara Marana, and then ended at ignorance. And some other times Buddha picked up from the middle and taught us in many different ways as necessary, as required. So, whichever way you are listening, or however easy and unimportant as it might sound to you, please pay each connection, reflect on each connection. One mental factors to the other, might be in sequence, might be in jumping sequence, but do reflect each presentation and approach deeply and seriously until that presentation is absorbed into the intellectual mind. And after that, one can apply it in contemplation. Now, in this talk, we are going to start from the end, old age and death, Jara Marana, and ends with the mental state of ignorance, avijja. All of our lives are busy with family's affair, social and business. All the time, one or the other, our life is engaged with these. From the practicing Buddhist point of view, we are in deep sleep state. We thought we are very busy, non-stop activities. But from the Buddhist point of view, it is you are in a deep sleep state. only for those who are trying to know the true nature of mind and matter are considered awake. Buddhist perspective. Five aggregates. You know what five aggregate is? It is you and me. It's us. The five aggregates are always heading towards death, marana. So it's very important to keep that fact in mind all the time. We are always heading, every moment heading towards death. So keep that fact in mind when you are reflecting on the body and the mind, reflecting on the body and the mind, nama and rupa. Old age and death are infused together with every part of your physical body. And I use the word physical body because it is very easy to pay attention on any prominent part of the body of the moment, which means that stands out, the part of the body that stands out at the moment to your awareness, whatever that may be, whatever the condition may be. You can pay attention very easily at any time, anywhere, any place. Even if you are at the busiest moment, busiest time, there is a moment you can be fully aware of it. And if you know and see depth, just too strong a word, I'll soften it up. If you know and see passing away of the aware part of the body at that moment, you just need a fraction of a split second. You are having insight into the nature of matter or rupa. So this is something that you can do all the time. All that you need is your desire to do it. If your desire, incline your mind to do it. And those moments will pop up like popcorn in the oven. Old age and death are inherently infused with the five aggregates. What's five aggregates? Us, mind and body, you and me. Old age and death are inherently infused with the five aggregates of human, Deva, and Brahma, or any kinds of beings. If you have a clear intellectual understanding to this nature, this inherent infused nature, you are starting to wake up from your deep sleep. Simply intellectual understanding. This five aggregates inherently infused with old age and death. Wishing to be born in any of these realms, human, Deva or Brahma, is actually wishing for death, because five aggregates are always heading towards death. You wish for to be reborn in human realm, Deva realm, Brahma realm. Actually, you are wishing for death. Why? Why does it happen that way? Because we have wrong views. It is due to wrong views, Micchateti. Not understanding the inherent nature of old age and death in all beings is having madness with ignorance. If you remember, I taught a kind of madness in the past. Mad with ignorance. Not understanding the inherent nature of old age and death in all beings is having madness with ignorance. And also wishing for better existence. Wishing for better existence, to be reborn in a better existence, or to have a better status even in this life, is actually having a madness with craving. Madness with craving. Not understanding the Four Noble Truth correctly and properly is having madness again with ignorance and craving. So these are three kinds of madness: madness with ignorance, madness with craving, and not knowing Four Noble Truth is madness with ignorance and craving. To overcome ignorance and craving, one must understand that the five aggregates are the cause, and old age and death is the effect. You must understand that process. Five aggregates the cause, and old age and death is the effect. If you want to overcome ignorance, avijja, and craving, tanha. So let's see this process or the connection. I'll use a different kind of language, simple daily languages, to go through this process. Where does the five aggregates come from? We always talk about five aggregates. Where does it come from? It comes from craving. Where does craving come from? It comes from likable, desirable objects. And what are the most likable and desirable objects? We all have it, do you know? What are the most likable and desirable objects? Surprise! The 5 aggregates. I'll repeat this little connections again. Where does the 5 aggregate come from? It comes from craving. Where does craving come from? It comes from likable objects. What are the most likable objects? The 5 aggregates. It's round and round. Start with the aggregates and finish this with the aggregate in these 3 connections. But we know the 5 aggregates are inherently infused with old age and death. So we can say quite easily liking the 5 aggregates is simply you are liking old age and death. It is like as if you are inviting or arranging your own executioner. You are inviting your own executioner. That is like liking the 5 aggregates. Those are the facts. But regardless, we can't help liking the 5 aggregates. Even though we know now we are falling in love with old age and death, which we would vehemently deny. But it's a fact. So, regardless or however, we cannot help liking the 5 aggregates. Why? Because 5 aggregates is you and me, us. We all like and love ourselves best. That's why we can't help liking 5 aggregates. But the fact is, 5 aggregates is old age and death. Isn't that funny? We have been liking, loving, clinging, grasping to ourselves the 5 aggregates. Due to ignorance, avijja. That's why. And in this life, we cling to ourselves. We love ourselves. We like the 5 aggregates, mainly due to craving. Throughout our past history is due to ignorance, but in this life, craving takes the front row to deceive ourselves. Ignorance deceived us throughout time. Craving deceives us right now and right here. we are in constant contact with the 5 aggregates. It's you, so there's nowhere to run. Your body, your feeling, your own opinion and views, your actions. Me, I. You are always in contact with it. Each moment of contact will always give rise to craving and grasping. You can't simply stop that craving and grasping with sheer willpower. You won't succeed. To abandon this, one must see the flaws. One must see the flaws in these 5 aggregates. And the flaws can be uncovered with Vipassana insight practice. Practicing Vipassana meditation will unfold specific characteristics and common characteristics of mind and matter. Only then you will see the true nature of mind and matter of the 5 aggregates. It requires Vipassana to see the true nature of the 5 aggregates. Once, in your practice of course, once constant passing away and its oppressive nature of the mind and matter are discovered, with Vipassana, ignorance will be dispelled, and the path wisdom Megajnana will arise. When this path wisdom arises, the 5 aggregates become totally hollow and empty, no essence. The true nature or the flaws of the 5 aggregates are revealed. And at that point, at that moment, there is no more clinging towards the 5 aggregates. Before, we always cling, fall in love with the 5 aggregates, with ourselves. But when the flaws are revealed, we fall out of love with ourselves, with the 5 aggregates. So it is vitally important to know the true nature of the 5 aggregates with Vipassana, to escape from the grip of death, the grip of old age and death. And here I like to explain one of the 5 aggregates. It's called aggregates of feeling. Because many of the yogis have misconception about the pleasant feeling. because we always talk about suffering, 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 misery. How can this pleasant feeling can be a miserable thing? It is difficult to accept this pleasant feeling is suffering. One is in always or constantly in contact with feeling. There are three kinds of feeling: pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral. But let's focus on the pleasant feeling. Having a good life, you see. Oh, we have a great life. Here's a good life. Having a great life means one have plenty and abundance of pleasant feeling. That's it. That's a great life. That's a happy life. That's a successful life. Abundant, plenty of pleasant feelings. So we think this is great, fantastic. It's beautiful and lovely. But this pleasant feeling is always arising and instantly passing away. If you are a practitioner, you know. It doesn't last at all. Just like a little bubble coming out of the water surface, pops, it goes. It comes up and instantly popped and gone. That's how the pleasant feeling is. You will know, and you know, if you are a serious practitioner. It always arises and passes away or disappears. Anything oppressed by the arising and disappearing is dukkha, suffering. How can it be not suffering? It comes and goes. It becomes and breaks down. It arises and passes away, born and die. That's why pleasant feeling is suffering, dukkha. Knowing this fact, experientially is having Vipassana insight. Okay, let's see here now. Cessation, the ending, cessation of death and old age, is due to cessation of rebirth. If you are not born, you can never grow old and die, simply put. Cessation of rebirth is due to cessation of life action, grasping and craving. And cessation of craving is due to cessation of ignorance of the five aggregates. When the ignorance of the five aggregates ceased, meaning you totally and truly understand the true natures of five aggregates. That is when avijja, ignorance, is dispelled and wisdom, pinya, arises. Path wisdom, mega jnana, arises when craving ceased. That's the end of suffering. That's a cessation of suffering. And that is Nibbana. So, keep awake and seize the day. With mindfulness insight. May all of you be able to practice mindfulness insight meditation and be able to keep yourself awake at every moment of time and attain Nibbana as soon as possible. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much.